Hey everybody, welcome back. Music Corner. As always, I am your host, Katy Perry, dressed as a mushroom. Today I'm starting off with a question, and that question to you is there any hit song out right now that you actually enjoy and think is good? If you're watching this at any point in the future, there's a good chance that the answer to that is yes. But if you are watching it right now, February of 2022, and the chart has been basically the same handful of songs for the last 3 weeks, and I expect it to be for a couple of more weeks, the answer might be absolutely fucking not. If you follow me on any social media, you know that I'm a pretty devoted chart watcher. I like to obsess over the placement, the mysterious rising and falling of all of these different songs. And I have noticed the last couple of weeks that compared to usual, it is particularly not good. I would just like to run through real quick, take a look at the songs in ye old top 10 of the Hot 100 and try and figure out why they're not good and why I don't like any of them. I don't want to sound like a huge dick who hates everything in this video. I know I will, but I don't hate everything, and I don't even hate all popular music. Last year, there were plenty of great hits from The Weeknd and from Olivia Rodrigo. In fact, the entire Olivia Rodrigo Lil Nas X summer that brought on the return of guitars, this pop-punk revivalism, and Lil Nas X's really intoxicating and over-the-top style. I thought it was great. There were so many hit songs from last year that I really enjoyed. But for at least the last month, it has just been a fucking swamp. I'll start with a couple of the least offensive songs, in my opinion, that I would consider hits recently. This Adele track, Easy on Me, it's fine, it's okay. When I reviewed the record, I said that I liked it, and I thought it was a decent single. It's very middle of the road relative to Adele's entire discography, and this is coming from someone who's not even that big a fan of the song. I had a feeling that by now it would have been replaced by a new Adele single, as those cycles typically go for her, that would then become the next world-conquering song, but that didn't happen, even though I think the second single she released after the album came out was actually better, and I wish it was a bigger hit. Instead, for now, 4 straight months or something like that, every time you turn on any pop music radio station, you're going to hear this song, and I am over it. Also, I'll be the first person to admit that I am not holier than thou. I do not mind pushing a little P every once in a while. If you read my Gunna review, that might surprise you because I said that the song was not very good, but it is funny, and more importantly, it's a big meme, and that's all it takes a lot of the time, and I am not above anyone else. I have been throwing the P emoji on some of my tweets, some of my Instagram posts. I have been not shy about pushing P, so I at least gotta say, for the song, that it has created something bigger than itself that I have actively participated in, and that has made it way more tolerable for me. Now, it's also no secret that I enjoy Dua Lipa. I'm a pretty big fan, particularly of her Future Nostalgia album, of which that entire era has spawned pretty much non-stop top 10 singles for her since the early Future Nostalgia singles started coming out in flippin' 2020. But now, she's got this Elton John remix, and it's okay. Not one of my favorite songs of hers that I've ever heard, but I'm not mad about it. I am just wondering when the Dua craze will run out. Eventually it has to run out, right? Levitating was the biggest song in the entire country last year, so I'm not sure she'll be around forever. She'll probably take a break at some point and then come back bigger than ever now that I've said this, and I won't be complaining because I've generally enjoyed her music thus far, but this is a little bit mediocre by her standards, at least in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people who like it. And I also did not come here to shit-talk a children's movie. I am not going to bitch that much about the 2 Encanto songs that are on the top 10. Saw the movie, thought it was decent. Not one of my favorite Pixar or animated movies ever, but I'm not surprised that all of the songs have caught on. I'm a little bit surprised that the Bruno song has been the one that's flying up the charts, given that it's really just an exposition song. It's like exposition the song. And it also means that, at least at the time of recording this, and I suspect going into next week, that Lin-Manuel Miranda will have written the number one song in the country, and that does kind of make me hate it. At the very least, it's something new, something different for the charts. The antithesis of that being a total fucking ripoff of Olivia Rodrigo with this new ABCDEFU song, which is not good. I know that critics have been shitting all over this thing for like a month now because it really is terrible, but like I'm surprised this thing hasn't gotten the amount of public backlash that it sounds like it should. I mean, it's so obviously going for recent trends. It's so obviously trying to score a hit through aesthetic alone. It also almost sounds like it's being purposefully annoying, almost in like a Tramp Stamps kind of way. As a matter of fact, I think it's exactly in a Tramp Stamps kind of way, and I'm really surprised that this artist, whoever they are, has not gotten the same level of public backlash that Tramp Stamps did last year. Also, if I made a list of people who had hits in the past that I thought would never be in the top 10 ever again, there's a lot of dead people that I would think are more likely to score another top 10 hit than Kodak Black. Now, I've done my fair share of critical beating on Kodak Black's music, though a couple of years ago I did finally break down and publish a list of 5 Kodak Black songs, or songs with Kodak Black in them, that I could tolerate and thought were decent. It was kind of a big joke, but also me admitting that not the entire Kodak Black catalog is completely worthless and irredeemable. But this song certainly would not have made that list, and this is the most confusing song in the entire top 10. Just for a moment, I want you to strip me of all of my eccentricities and just imagine me. I am a normal person. I work my job. I sit in rush hour traffic. I love the new Adele song when it plays, when I listen to pop music radio. I love Kodak Black. What? I'm not sure what it is that is propelling this song. Maybe it's like a huge TikTok hit that I don't know about, or maybe there's some brand new way to manipulate the charts that we've never even heard of before that will become the cultural zeitgeist for Billboard over the next year or whatever. This is far from the worst thing Kodak Black has ever done. At least I can say that about it, but I have absolutely no explanation for how or why this thing is as popular as it is. And as you would expect, as there always is, a couple of our favorite little doughboys are back in the charts. Ed Sheeran with yet another in his line of mediocre, terrible songs that have become astronomically big hits for seemingly no reason. This is not my absolute least favorite ever, because I think that's impossible at this point, but I still do hate it, and still do think it sucks, and still do find his success and his continued dominance completely indescribable, and inaccessible, and unreasonable, and all kinds of different other bulls that add up to create a giant ball of bulls that I use as like a bowling ball to thrust Ed Sheeran songs permanently out of all of our lives. One thing positive that I will say is that, unlike a lot of critics, I actually kind of like the Kid Laroi. I've heard him do a few tracks that I genuinely enjoyed, and while a lot of people seem to hate his really unique voice, I think when it's deployed properly, it can actually make for some really good tunes. I was genuinely a fan of one of the tracks that took the hardest critical beatings in 2021, his track Without You, which I saw pop up on numerous worst hits of 2021 lists from all kinds of different critics, but I don't hate it at all. In fact, I would say I actually kind of like it. It wasn't one of my favorite hits of the year, but I think it showed off exactly why he's been successful in a post-Juice world. This song with Justin Bieber, on the other hand, which has proven to be an impressively long-running hit, is just not anywhere near as compelling or interesting. It's this like poppy, It's like EDM song with this icky vocal manipulation. It completely robs the Kid Laroi of what makes him interesting as an artist, and it's nowhere near as smooth or catchy as you'd expect from a big Justin Bieber hit. So its continued presence on the charts continues to confuse me, because when I listen to it, I don't even see the type of things here that can make for a shallow and vapid hit. And speaking of shallow and vapid hits, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, my nemesis. Almost 2 fucking years ago, I had this to say about the Glass Animals song Heat Waves when I reviewed their mediocre third album Dreamland, and I expected that that would be the end of it. And for a really long time, it was. Until this thing started to climb up the charts across the entirety of 2021 and now into 2022, where it has peaked at number goddamn 3. I made a video months ago talking about how confusing this all was, how random it all is, and on top of everything, how shitty of a song this is. This thing is so boring and redundant and stupid. It's just a misaligned blob of all of these different genres that isn't distinctly anything, including catchy or memorable. I have no earthly idea what has propelled this thing to the level of success that it has achieved. So aside from validating the video that I put out a couple of months ago, I genuinely just believe that this thing is continuing on for pure spite. I'll say what I said in that last video. I think Glass Animals is a decent band. I like their sophomore album quite a bit. This song fucking sucks, and I never want to hear it again, and I do not know why it has been successful for as long as it has. This thing is going to probably still be on the charts 2 years after the album it comes from, for which it was released as a pre-release single in the lead up to the album. None of it makes any goddamn sense. So that's it. That was bitching about the Hot 100. Not the last time I'll do it. And do believe that I could go on. It's not like 11 to 20 is swimming with bangers, and that is why I believe that there's no hope, there's no relief coming down the pipe, at least for a couple of weeks. I don't even know what to hope for. Maybe one of the better songs from The Weeknd's new album will take off. Maybe Charlie XCX will drop her biggest hit ever, and we'll get to enjoy a new Charlie song. I don't think it'll be the Rina Sawayama song, but she's got her new album coming out. Hey, maybe Rosalia, who has been a chart force in the past, will be able to drop something that can rise up the charts. Or maybe we'll get a cool surprise. How cool would it be to see like a Denzel Curry or like a Tierra Whack song climb up the charts? How fucking rad would it be if you get the charts delivered to your Twitter feed next week and something totally butt-ass random is on the top? I'm talking like Black Country New Road Snow Globes, or like one of the new Animal Collective songs. Since that's obviously never gonna happen, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to hope for. I don't know what's coming out soon that might have a hit that may save us from the cycle of pain that these hit songs have been sending us through. But at the very least, I will say, if you are as over these songs as I am, there is as much great music in the critical underground as ever before. The year's gotten off to a spectacular start, and there's going to be a ton more great shit coming out in February, so keep an eye on my blog. If you'd like, read places like Pitchfork and Brooklyn Vegan and Consequence of Sound and Stereo Gum and other publications like that, because they're going to be talking about some great music that is coming up soon that will feel nice if this is what you've been listening to and consuming for a couple of months now. And I'll be back at the end of this month with a update and a recap, and then we'll yabba dabba do that. That's all I have to say, except if there is a God, if there is a big man or woman upstairs, Silk Sonic Smoking Out the Window will be the #1 song of 2022.